What's up, Candy Ken? What's up, Baby J? How's it going?
Not today.
Candy Ken and Baby J.
It's Candy Ken.
Welcome to the Candy Ken Show.
I always tell people, I'm like, just please tag me, because you know my comedy's edgy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get suppressed a lot. I get videos canceled and shit. It's a lot harder for me, man.
I'm surprised you're still on Instagram.
Me too.
I mean, do you think it's a matter of
They just took another one down.
yeah? You think it's a matter of how big you are?
Yeah, I mean, there's an element of it, yeah, where it's are we filming now?
We're on, right? We're on.
We're on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an element of how much cancel culture has affected entertainment. You know, it's sort of sad because I don't talk about politics. And I don't belong to any political party. But if I make certain jokes, I notice that I get suppressed maybe or banned. And I think that I think with art, it should be free. I feel like art should be really free, you know? And when art's not free, man, it's sort of...
It's not art.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm a Jewish guy. And, you know, like, I'm Middle Eastern. I'm mixed. You know, if people made jokes about me, I could take it, you know? But I noticed that a lot of people laugh at jokes when it's not about them. But then when it's about them and their identity, that's when they get offended. So I had like a podcast recently with someone who was a woman. And the woman could laugh at maybe any joke. But the moment the joke was on at her expense, it was like, well, you just disrespected me. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And I'm like, you disrespect people like on a regular basis. It looks like you laughed at all these other jokes. But the moment it was about you, you didn't like it. And I feel like that's hypocritical. You know, I feel like, you know, if I can make jokes, let's say, for example, on Mexicans, gays, Arabs, but then if a Mexican makes a joke at me being Jewish or Iranian, Persian, and then I get angry, that's not fair. Right? If I make a joke about you being German, but then you make a joke about me being a Persian or Turk eating a doner, and I get upset, that's not fair. So I think that's usually how I can see if someone's open-minded.
If they can get the comedy?
Yeah, because it's like, and even if they don't like it, they're open to it. Because it's like, oh, I like art as long as it doesn't offend me. Well, imagine if we did that. Would we even have art? I mean, like, bro, would we even have art? If art that offends anyone is just, but then who defines what art should be canceled? Right? So it's a whole discussion within itself. And I feel like with art should be free, man. You know, I stay out of politics. I really try to stay out of politics, man. But I'm like, just let me at least create art, you know? So I deal with that. I've also noticed that I have to get engagement, maybe 10x what another creator does in my niche to get the same views or to get promoted to new followers. So like if you look at my engagement, it's really strong. But I feel like another creator that does comedy that has comedy that they like can do the same with less.
And you're getting hauled down.
Yeah.
Not exposed.
Yeah, and I don't think it's fair. I mean, I'm not an extreme person like that either, you know? Like I'm a married guy, I got a daughter. If anything, I talk about pretty liberal stuff too, like people should get healthcare in America. Like in Germany, everyone can get healthcare. Where I live in Germany, everyone gets great. We have amazing doctors in Germany. We have amazing medical technology in Germany. The working class person, like the maid in this home, if she was in Germany and she went to the bathroom today and when she took a shit, blood came out, she could afford to go to the doctor, an excellent doctor, excellent technology. Get tested and maybe discover, hopefully not, maybe it's not a serious illness, but if it is, she catches it early. And then she doesn't have to worry about losing her home. Here in America, that maid might not go to the doctor. Why? Because it might cost her too much money. So then she ignores the symptom of having blood in the toilet when she took a shit. And then it gets worse. 6 months later, 2 years later, something really bad happens. She goes to the doctor, and then maybe it's too late. So in Germany, everyone has healthcare, and it's excellent healthcare. It's a rich country. In Germany, we don't have, my wife's German, I'm married a German. Where my home is, we don't have homeless people like this, man. You know? We don't. I've seen more homeless people today than maybe I did in like a fucking 2 months, man, in Germany. You know what I mean?
No. I think there's more homeless people in LA than my hometown. Like my hometown is 20,000 people. I think you now have over 100,000 homeless people in LA.
I mean, if you go to Spain, you know, if you go to Spain, you don't see this level of violence. People look at Europe, like Spain, Germany. You go to the Middle East, you go to the Persian Gulf, those countries, you don't see homeless people. You don't really see any homeless people if you go to, the United Arab Emirates. You just don't. I do remember seeing, in my last trip to Spain about a month ago, I remember seeing 1 or 2 homeless people, actually. But it looked like they wanted to be homeless, maybe. You know what I mean? It was unusual. But Spain, they got healthcare. People got healthcare. Germany, Austria, people got healthcare.
Free healthcare.
Excellent healthcare by law. In Germany, the maid has to have healthcare, half of it covered by her employer by law. It's illegal not to have healthcare. Think about the mindset that it's actually illegal to have someone work for you who does not have healthcare coverage. That's how deep it is, bro. So if you get sick and a doctor says to you, you don't have the money, well, you don't have the money. How is it possible you don't have healthcare? You actually broke the law. Like, pretty crazy, you know? If you say that to an American, they think you're communist. But it's not true because Germany's not Cuba. Germany's not Venezuela. Germany has 85 million people. 85 million people, big country. Richest economy in Europe. Number 5, number 6 richest economy in the world. You have about 80 billionaires in Germany. And they take care of their maids. They take care of their construction workers. They take care of their Uber drivers, or if they have Uber, but they're taxi workers. They take care of the fast food workers. Everyone can get healthcare. It doesn't matter if you're rich, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like here in America, oh yeah, everyone has the opportunity, but does the maid, if she gets sick? When you go to the restaurant, the bartender, if the bartender goes to the bathroom and urinates blood, will he have enough money to go get tested? If someone wakes up with a headache 1 month in a row, has fatigue, will they go to the doctor? If someone has chest pain for 6 months, do they go find out maybe they have a heart condition? That's America, man. That's the ugly side of, I think, America, is that.
Well, it goes further than that because nobody pays as much money into healthcare than America. It is the most expensive healthcare in the world and with the least benefit.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Not only that, did you also know the third cause of death after heart stroke and cancer is pharmaceuticals?
Wow.
So because of pharmaceuticals, it's the third most common cause of death in America. So many people die from taking it was crazy. My family, we went to Japan. My wife got Bell's palsy, and they treated her immediately. And they told us, first of all, we had to find a hospital that would take non-insured or not Japanese insurance, but they had one, and they were telling us we should watch out because we will have to pay it out of pocket. And we thought as Americans, my wife grew up in America, so she expected I don't know, 10K, 20K, and it came out to be $200. And they treated her, the excellent doctor gave her all the meds in the hospital right away. And when we put together how much they would prescribe in America, it was double the dose that she needed. They prescribed half the dose, but Google would tell exactly, no, you need this kind of dose. But in Japan, they would just not do that.
Man, that's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's you nailed it. It's oh, okay. Well, in the United States, you're paying more money for healthcare.
Much more.
Much more money for healthcare. And then, so you're thinking, okay, well, I'm paying more money for healthcare. I'm getting better results. No, the patient outcome could be worse. So you're saying patient outcome is worse.
Yes.
And
one of the worst in the world.
And I'm spending more money. And enough people have lost their home to medical bankruptcy. People literally lose their home and they get a $150,000 medical expenses or they die. I mean, bro, it's it's crazy in a country this much rich with this much taxes spent. This much money is spent on taxes. And out of all this money spent on taxes, we can't find a way to give these poor people, middle-class people healthcare. It just seems, it's just corrupt, man, in Washington, it's crazy when you tell people that don't. If you tell people in Canada this, they also don't like it. It's any other rich country you go to, man, and you say to people that how it is in the United States, it's almost unanimous that this is crazy. But in America, people who have not traveled abroad, they don't know. Other than a 1-week vacation. You lived in another country.
Yeah.
You lived in a very rich country. A small country, but very rich. Austria is very rich. Someone could make the argument that, Austria is a small country like Denmark. But they can't make that argument about Germany because Germany has about 85 million people.
Yeah.
You go to Austria, I don't even know if I've ever seen a homeless person in Vienna. I literally don't know if I've ever even, it's such a clean city.
Yeah. I haven't seen a homeless person until I came to LA.
Yeah, man, it's it's sort of, it's indoctrination that we've accepted this in America.
Yeah.
In America, we've accepted people just being violent too, carrying guns. It's just normal. Do you know what I mean? It's just literally normal. We accept it as every day. So you're married now?
Yes.
Nice, man. And then
never wanted to get married. Never planned to get married. Always dated white, blonde models. Never lasted. And then I met a Latina and she turned my life around. And I don't know, she's like a roller coaster where the highs are very high, the lows are dramatic, but she keeps the family together. And not only that, I think the best thing about her, she's really the best mother. And that makes it for me. My partner needs to be the best mother for my children. That's what really defines the best wife. And to see how much she cares about my son and how much I couldn't even tell. I guess I don't know if it's lucky or some sort of intention that you have that she will be the mother of your children. I guess as a man, you look for that because same as a woman looks for somebody who can protect you, who can provide for you, who can be there for you and really be that man in your life, that substantial that gives you some sort of like, you're going to be good. And I saw that probably in her, and it really turned out that she really cares phenomenal and is not like, not ruthless or doesn't care, and she's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I could hear the German accent when you said mother. You said Mutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mutter. And then in German, Deutsch, you say Vater.
Vater and
Vater,
Mutter.
Mutter, yeah. I could hear it. A similar accent as my wife, man. But the Austrian, Swiss, and German accents are also inherently unique.
Very much so.
Yeah. And I would even say the German in Byron in the southern part and the
Yes.
German in the northern part.
More close to my accent, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Genau, man. Yeah, it's in the United States. I lived in New York City longer than any other city.
Mm-hmm.
So in New York, our English, I don't have as much of an accent, but it comes out occasionally.
Yeah.
But in New York, our accent is not the same as someone that might be from Southern California. Not everyone in Southern California has an accent, but there is a slight, the pronunciation is not exactly the same. Or like if you go to Alabama or Boston, you have regional dialects.
Yeah.
But that could be true about any country. China has that too, right? India has that. Brazil has that. Pretty much any big country has that with a big territory. But so were you dating a lot before that?
Not really. Especially when I met my wife, I was very much focused on my career and my work. And this is a good story because I left Austria because you cannot, it is very hard, I would say, to make it on social media out of Austria, because it comes down to the algorithm. It comes down to finding out things first. And unfortunately, I know like the healthcare, the education, everything is for free. It's beautiful. You're safe. But when you want to be a part of culture, what do Germans consume? What music do Germans? Do you think they listen to German music? The German rap scene is small. It's nothing like the American rap scene. And same with Hollywood. Every entertainment that every German or Austrian young person consumes is made here. So when you want to be a part of that, like Arnold, he had to compete with the best. So you have to go where the best are. So for me, I had to get out of Austria to make it like a name for myself, kind of. I felt that need that I have to compete, even though my wife always says it smells like urine here and the city is crazy, but I had to make a name for myself. And I found out about TikTok before anybody else did. And that's why I made it there. And we accomplished, together, we have like over 30 million followers on TikTok. So that's like our main platform.
Wow.
It's all about timing and algorithms. And I don't know if you know about TikTok, but it depends where you post. So if I post here in LA, circles see it first in LA, and then it reaches out more, and then it goes into location circles, kind of. So if I post in Austria, you have to do Austrian content, and it will never really leave that board. Like there is a rare chance, but like Vine, I found out too late. I was too late, and then it was already gone, and I couldn't make that jump.
I noticed I was on TikTok.
Mm.
I got up to about 800,000 followers, and I got kicked off, unfortunately, over a year ago. And I noticed that when I was in Germany, I had a lot harder road to get, 2-3 million views. Whereas when I would come to the United States and post, I would go viral much more in a shorter span. Like in 1 month, I could go viral 5 videos. Then I go back to Germany for like 3 months. It's like twice.
You got to stay on flight mode.
Yeah. So like that, it's crazy.
That's what I did.
Flight mode.
So when I go back, I don't connect to you got to just Wi-Fi it. So they don't, at least with TikTok, that works. So
Really?
you can still post into the For You page, into the American For You page. Because I know a friend, he went to Thailand, started posting there, and nobody in Thailand wants to like see American content. So they're like, all his views tanked right away. So it's very rigged. And like I like when you talked about the pharmaceuticals. The more you go into any industry, you find out that it's not a fair game. It's not about like you post something amazing and it will reach the people that it's supposed to. No, it doesn't work like that. Like there's so much hold down, and like people decide, advertisers decide, do they want to see that? Is that going to help them? Is that going to help the app, or are you a problem? And when you're too big, like Andrew Tate, you're dangerous. You're very dangerous. So I feel like for you, like how you see yourself as a comedian? No. Right?
No, I mean, I like to.
You're the alpha king.
Yeah. I mean, I like to create entertainment content.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do some comedy, but I do quite a bit of self-improvement because my background's a businessman, entrepreneur, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I've been a CEO for years. I mean, I've created over 60 jobs. So creating content and comedy, it's something more that it's like a artistic, creative pursuit, you know? I like it. I enjoy it. I don't make money really doing it, but I enjoy doing it. And I haven't really monetized it. I haven't really tried, but I know there are people that want me to coach them and stuff. So I'm like, I'm really on I never want to be the guy that's constantly pushing something like that. It's just not me. But do I want to occasionally take maybe a few people I can help? I'm looking at it, but I don't want this to feel like work.
Yeah.
You know?
As soon as it feels like work.
Then as soon as it starts to feel like work, then I'll be like, I might as well just stay in private equity and finance. Yeah. I'll make money in finance. And just my finance was my career before. It just happened.
In America or in Germany?
In America.
Okay.
But I actually started out working in a part of private equity called secondaries. And my mentor was in Geneva, Switzerland. But he's someone I met who was a hedge fund analyst years before in New York at HSBC. HSBC laid off a lot of people during the subprime crisis. So I was still friends with him, and we stayed in touch. And then he got me into that. I used to throw parties in New York with fashion models and stuff like that. So I got married late, man. I got married and I became a father late. You know, I'm 42 years old. My daughter is 11 months. You know, so I wish I would have started earlier. I really wish. But it just didn't work out that way.
Oh, as long as it works out at all, I think you're blessed.
Yeah.
I think if people hate to hear that, but a life without children is meaningless. It's empty.
Once you become a dad, you can feel that more.
It's hard to describe it if you're not a dad because it doesn't mean anything. Before, when I heard this, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I have so much fun, right? But you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, when you can like call this God or whatever you want to call it, but like if you don't procreate and you put another human in this world, or even adoption, I think, whatever, but like to have a human and see it like grow up, there's nothing more beautiful than that.
Yeah. I think once you become a dad, you can understand that, what you just said.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand when you're not a dad.
Also, it takes all the fun away from the generous. That was like one of my favorite things. Like I always thought I would like miss like parties in New York and all that bullshit. But when you have a baby, you want to be with your baby and like with your wife. And it's those, and also like Lamborghinis are fun and money, but when it's those moments where you just like these, like when he like sees me in the gym or I pick him up from school and like his eyes light up. This is like it's insane. Like,
how old is he?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the closest to God when my daughter smiles at me.
For sure. And it makes everything else like worthless, no? The cars,
yeah.
The houses.
Yeah.
You can be happy with your child in an apartment.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. When I see my little girl, I get so weak. You know what I mean? No woman ever made me weaker than my daughter.
Yeah.
I'm like the biggest simp when it comes to my daughter. My daughter could give me, she can, you know, it's my daughter, you know what I mean? Like, it's my little princess. I'm weak with her, you know, complete submit, you know, I know I'll be tough with her, but it'll be very hard, man. Because when she smiles at me, looks at me in my eyes, uh, I just get arrested. You know, it's like she has a superpower over me. Watching my daughter smile is the happiest. That's probably the happiest point of any moment of my day.
For sure.
Right? Like when they're just happy to see you. Wow. Imagine coming home and a dog is happy to see you. That feels good. But coming home and seeing your son or your daughter call you dad, or, you know, are just happy to see you. I mean, man, that's peak. Like, that's it. Like, I cannot imagine more than that. I've never experienced love, you know, like with that intensity other than what I had with my grandmother, who passed away about a little over a year ago. But that was the only other person that I had that level of intensity of love.
And you wanted to grow up in Germany?
Yeah, she's going to go to school in Germany, just because we have so much family in Germany.
Yeah.
On my wife's side.
What about your family?
My family lives in a bunch of countries. So it's not so concentrated in one city.
Yeah.
But, you know, I used to date around a lot, man. When I was a playboy for way longer than I was married. You know, I used to work as a promoter, bringing out fashion models in New York, hosting parties 5 nights a week. So like Alpha King Nima really is the embodiment of so much of my work 5 nights a week, bringing out fashion models. Not just fashion models, a variety of women. Many people actually think that I'm arrogant because most of the women I've dated were 10 out of 10s. But that's actually couldn't be further from the truth. I actually once took a fat, ugly girl to the zoo. And as a joke, I was going to lock her in the gorilla exhibit just to see how long it would take for people to catch on. But it turned out she was actually a really nice girl. And that was actually Alpha King rule number 617. Looks are not everything. But I wouldn't have dated that bitch. She was too big for me. Yeah. So, yeah. It's important to have inside attributes. You know what I mean?
For sure.
When you're younger, it's cool to date the beautiful women. But man, once you get married, bro, it's like, is she going to wake up at 2 a.m.?
Exactly. Is she going to be a good mother?
Yeah, my wife, I tell you, man, it's been about 11 months. She's not slept good one night.
She won't for a while.
Yeah. And she still has a good attitude.
Yeah.
Most days. I cut her slack, man. If one day out of a week, one day out of a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, she's just tired, irritable, annoyed, I understand. I know how I would be if I didn't get sleep one night. If I don't get good sleep one night, I'm probably not in the best mood the next day. I'm cranky. My wife can routinely go 1-2 weeks, not one bad day. It's truly her personality, and she's not faking it. She's like, if you met my wife, you'd be like, oh, she's such a nice lady. But she might be a bitch behind the scenes. Nah, she's really nice, you know? And I'm not easy, man, because I'm cranky. I'm moody. I have a bad attitude. And I have a temper, you know? But my wife can just, maybe it's like I call her the German engineer in our relationship because she can fix things. I can't. And, but in that way, she has like a German stereotypical personality where she's very like methodical and relaxed, not emotional. So when I get emotional, it's like a thunderstorm comes and she's just very relaxed. It comes and it just goes. You know, like, it's the first woman that really has been able to like handle me as like a wild stallion. You know what I'm saying? As like a free horse. So I'm very fortunate. I think a lot of the men that hate women don't have a wife that loves them. A lot of the dorky guys on the red pill space, you know, that talk about women. I wonder if you really wanted to be objective, if a young man is listening to me right now, ask yourself, does that man have a wife? Is he happily married? Does he have children that love him? Marriage is tough, man. You got to work hard. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying my marriage is perfect. I work hard at it. My wife works hard at it. She works harder at it than me because I'm probably the much harder person to be with, to be honest. To be honest with myself, not just with you. But I would say that overall, I'm pretty happy with my marriage. And I'm pretty happy being a dad. It's actually my source of happiness. My greatest source of happiness is actually having a good marriage and being successful with my family. That's literally what I'm most, think about it. I'm literally the most proud of that. So if I don't have happiness from there, where the fuck do I have happiness? That actually my greatest source of happiness is having tomorrow when I go back to Miami. My mom's visiting us in Miami right now, my home in Miami, but we're in LA. But when I go back, I can't wait to see my wife and daughter. I've been gone since Monday. It's been 4 days now. I already miss them. I'm looking at them. I was showing you the picture of them before we started, right? Now, if I were to go home and it's empty, or I have no need to go home, I just stay here another 2 weeks. Who gives a fuck? It's not like I have anyone waiting for me. No, I have people waiting for me. My wife's waiting for me. My daughter's waiting for me. My mom's waiting for me, I hope. I don't know. She's so obsessed with my daughter. She doesn't even think about me, but she might not even care. But, you know, I hope she cares a little. I'm still her son, you know. But, of course, it's easy for the guy on the red pill space to say, oh, yeah, fuck your wife. Fuck that bitch. She should be kissing your ass. Tell her to go sit in the fucking closet, shut the fuck up, and be quiet, bitch. I'm working. You do what I want you to do. Yeah, the guy talks like that. He doesn't have a happy marriage. He doesn't have a daughter. Would you want somebody to talk to your daughter like that? I wouldn't. Now, this is coming from a guy who's fucked a lot of women. This is coming from a guy who's had sex addiction. This is coming from a guy who didn't have a great relationship with his mom. I fucked a lot of women partly because I maybe didn't have love from my mom the way I wanted. Fucked a lot of women that way, man. I worked in nightclubs in New York. 5 nights a week, I was hosting a party, bottle service, celebrities. Just imagine top nightclubs in New York, traveling to Paris Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, Cannes Film Festival, coming to LA, Grammys, you know, all that stuff, man, throwing parties. You could imagine how much pussy I was getting. But now at 42 years old, I wonder was a lot of that because my mom loved me, but she wasn't so loving to me. Similar to a woman that goes and gets fucked by a bunch of guys because her dad didn't give a shit about her. If you have a daughter and you don't give a shit about your daughter and you leave your daughter, you're not there for her birthday. You're not there. You don't give a fuck. You reject your daughter. Fuck, man. As a father, I see the way my daughter looks at me. Man, if I was not there for my daughter, fuck, bro, I'd rather die than live on this earth knowing I have a daughter and I'm ignoring her. It would be too painful for me to feel her pain of her father's rejection. So now that I'm a father, it's very hard for me to look at women the same. It's impossible, man. Because I look at women, I'm like, I'm not going to say it destroyed my sex drive because I still have a strong sex drive, but it took a piece of the filthy stuff I had in my mind. It really took a lot of it out. Because I know now that's someone's daughter. And I have a daughter. And man, when I was fucking a lot of women, man, a lot of them didn't, maybe wanted to be with me. And I would just fuck them, leave, just use them. I was selfish. You know, I was selfish. I would just go there, fuck them, leave. Or they come over my home, I fuck them, take the condom off, go to the shower, and then maybe within 10 minutes have them leave. It's cold. Good chance I would do it again, to be honest with you. I didn't know any better. So when I see a 20, 30-year-old guy talking like that, I get it. How would you understand what I'm saying to you unless you have a daughter? Unless you have a wife that's good and loving? It's hard. It's hard to understand this until you have that. It's hard, man. When you have a daughter and you can still be a jerk, that's like a psychopath to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can be nasty, if you can be really nasty to women and have a daughter, I feel like you got a piece of your heart, man, that's gone cold. You know what I'm saying? You got a part of your heart, man, that's fucking non-existent. Because the love my daughter has given me has changed my life. It's changed my life. I'm not the same person. Changed my life, bro. You know? Even now when I'm out, I see a woman, I look at her ass. I got the hotel. I was working out a few days ago in the morning. I saw a girl, she had a nice ass. And I'm looking at it and I'm just like, wow, she got a great ass. And I was thinking, you know, what if I fucked her? Then I thought, I got a daughter. I don't want some guy talking to my daughter like that who's married. Married man saying he's going to fuck her and then leave her. And I think, you know, I mean, just think how dark this shit is. Not to mention I'm married and I'm doing that to her mom. Not to mention my wife's dad, I look up to him. He looks at me, he tells me, he looks at me like his son. I'm a Jewish guy. He's big German. You know, he says to me, you're like my son. I look at you as my son. I love him. He's a second father to me. I love her mom like a mother, man. So if I do that, it's like I betrayed them after they took me in, welcomed me to the family. It's the ultimate betrayal. And really who you betrayed is yourself. Now you dirtied the one thing in your life which could bring you the most happiness aside from good health. Your family. You betrayed your family. I would never trust someone like that in business, man. I would never trust someone like that in business. Never. I could never trust someone like that. If they betray their family, why would they not betray you, bro? They have, there's a part of them that's like a psycho. They don't feel it. You know, now I can understand if it was a guy, he made a mistake once, he regrets it, he's never going to do it again. I believe in forgiveness. But ever since I got married, wore a ring, I didn't fuck around, man. And I think a part of that is my prayer, is my faith in God. That helps me too. But it's if you include your wife in prayer, I think that's a great way to avoid adultery. Because when you talk to God and you talk to God about taking care of your wife, you're praying for your wife. You pray for your wife and you wear a ring, much harder to cheat on your wife. Because even if no one knows, God knows.
And you know.
And you know.
You'll always know.
You'll always know for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
man. So you fucked her for 1 minute or you fucked her for 10 minutes. Now for the next 50 years of your life, you're going to have to think about that shit. It's not worth it. I'd rather jerk off.
Yeah. And you might even tell her because you can't live with that.
Yeah.
Right. People can't even keep that.
Yeah. Now on social media, it's like, don't jerk off. No, I'll tell you straight up. I look in the camera, jerk off before you go cheat on your wife.
Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. Because I go back and forth between thinking like porn is the devil, but then probably not as many as you, but I was fucking before my wife, like wild. And I also know how empty 10 out of 10s are. I feel that helps also a lot. Like once you know they're miserable a lot of times, they care, they cry, they care. Like I've always dated like social media girls and there's so much pressure. They built this persona that they're not really are. Nobody looks like that when they wake up in the morning. So there's a lot of pain in these 10 out of 10s. I've never, I guess, met a 10 out of 10 that was like healthy, mentally stable, great mother, or like looking like she's going to be a great mother. A lot of times these 10 out of 10s are very unhumbled, always on a pedestal. Everybody's licking their ass from when they went to school, the teachers to where they worked. They think they're the best, the greatest because of the way they look. So as a man, you always have to work to get accomplishment and to be successful. It's very rare. And if you talk to a male model, you'll find out pretty quick how their mindset works. So when you know that the world on social media, when you look at these 10 out of 10s and you're like, oh shit, she's hot, and you've looked behind the scenes, it really helps, I think, that you can then, when you find the one, really settle down and dial in and be like, I don't need that anymore. And also, I would never betray that most precious thing that I just created.
You know, in New York, when I was working with a lot of fashion models, there were a lot of guys that were rich. So basically, they would put me, so basically, this is what I did. In New York, I'd get paid, let's say, $800 a night. I would host a table with bottle service at like an A-list nightclub. And I'd bring like 7 fashion models and like 10 girls. Then they would put tables next to me where people spend $5,000 minimum for bottle service. So basically, the guys would hit on the women I brought. I was like a pimp, basically, for the nightclubs. And I was amazed how many successful, wealthy men would put the women I was with on pedestals. I mean, this could have been a woman that I just fucked her in her ass. You know, this is a woman that I had no money and I could, explode, jerk off on her face. You know what I mean? But they would put her on a pedestal. And they wouldn't like that, to the point where they'd go out with a sleazy nightclub promoter fucking a bunch of women, right? But here he was, multimillionaire, feeling he should get her, not me. He didn't understand the psychology of it. He would put her on a pedestal. So they did that a lot with fashion models, I noticed in New York, because they were in Vogue editorial. They're walking New York Fashion Week shows, but there's a great power in having women like that. There's a great power in having women like that because it opens a lot of doors. So men do respect you at a nightclub when you have a lot of women with you.
Also online.
Also online, yeah. But I would imagine now in 2023, rather than 2013, when I was throwing parties, 10 years later, you fast forward that, it makes sense what you would say, because now a social media influencer I think a 18-year-old would rather date a popular social media influencer than even like a popular actress or musician, man, or athlete, like a model. Like if you got a few 100,000 followers, or if you just have nice Instagram, like as a woman, and you could show your friends that's next level, man. Right? Like, fuck, man, that's my girlfriend. And he's like this beautiful woman. Like, I I would imagine that because that's real. Like, I just think social media, I think there are a lot of actors and actresses now in Hollywood that are just scared as shit of social media influencers. I'll give you an example of how powerful social media is. I'm in LA. I say I'm in LA. I get a DM from an agent who works at one of the most powerful talent agencies in Hollywood. He's like, let's meet. I'm like, all right, I'm here one more day. I just went and had a 3-hour meeting with him at the Beverly Hilton. He came by the hotel. We talked. And there's a project I want to do. And he's like, we should do this. I'm like, all right. If I would have just been an actor coming to LA, I would have never had that opportunity because I'm a Middle Eastern guy. How many terrorist Middle Eastern guy actors could they have for terrorist? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so many of those roles. Right? So, okay. So I can't play terrorist. There's not really there's not really like comedy roles for terrorists as Middle Eastern guys, first of all. But with social media, I'm able to get 30, 40 million views a month, like I did last month, across all platforms and accounts. I would never have been able to do that on television or cinema without social. And I did that. And the crazy thing is, you can actually do that for free. It's surreal. It's surreal to think that you can do that for free. You can get millions of views every month, every week for free. You know, like, it's surreal when you think about it. Like, wow, like, you know, you're getting millions of views. We take it for granted, but it's like, shit, man, last week I did about 7 million views. It's like 7 million fucking views, man. It's a lot. When you think about it, when you add up all the accounts and platforms, you're like, shit, 7 fucking million.
But you're good at it. You put in.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, you're great at it, you know, thank you. But I'm just saying, like, you know, like, you're getting more views than a Hollywood actor.
For sure.
You know, like yesterday I was with a guy, over 2 million subscribers on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We did a podcast, and like, he's literally doing what so many actors working at these big studios aren't doing. Who's fucking even watching cable TV?
Well, you can see it like that, but then also, what about the ad revenue? Because you say you make your money in finances, right? I don't do finances. So now I do social media. So, bro, on YouTube, there was months we made $500 million in 28 days. And that will pay me maybe like 17K, maybe like 18. $500 million views, right? 500 million in 28 days. And they making crazy ad money, YouTube. But they barely pay out the creators.
What niche would you say that they put you in?
Comedy.
Yeah.
Because this podcast is different. This is like culture.
Yeah.
Right? But the TikToks, how I get the views, it's not with like an hour of content.
Yes.
Right?
Clips,
it's with 7 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's all comedy. Because it has to be very aggressive, funny, quick. Right?
Yes.
Like how you do your Instagram reels. It has to can't be that chill, right? It has to be sharp. You know, because you only have that limited time.
I have a problem where it's like, it's hard for me to do short clips too. I'll be honest with you. I love doing them long. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because I love to talk. Like, it's hard for me to do 7 seconds, man. Yeah. Like, I try to, if you notice, a lot of my videos are like 50 seconds, 55 seconds. Yeah. Like, I almost shorten my video. I have the problem of doing too much footage. Yeah. So I know that I probably could go viral more if I talk less. It really is a good hack, though, to talk less. It is. I acknowledge that. It's
just an editing thing, I think.
Yeah, no.
Because they should just let you talk, and then it's a clipping thing. Because we shoot 20 minutes straight, and then I just clip it into 7 seconds. After 7 seconds, and me and my wife, we would just stay in character. Nobody would do this on TikTok. Like we were the only ones. We would just go for 20 minutes or even for an hour, because she is originally an actress, and I just always loved editing and also like going into character.
Yeah.
So we would just go into character, these like crazy, like rich douchebags on Rodeo Drive, just like all this fake money, 10 phones, and then just go crazy, like show the kids what they want to see, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Go into stores, come out, make fun about like ugly clothes, and then like it was just, we would just shoot, and then clip it very short.
I could see you playing a rich character.
Yeah.
In Germany, the Austrians are viewed as very pish posh. I learned that from my wife.
So I love rich douchebags or that character.
You could play that, yeah.
Yeah.
Austrians have that, I think, stereotype too,
Yeah.
at least in Germany, because it's such a rich country. Yeah, a beautiful country, but yeah. I've learned a lot about Austrians and Germans and Europeans, man, just living there. I've lived there a few years now. You've lived here in the United States a few years.
Yeah.
I've lived in Europe for a few years. I like going back and forth, man, to be honest with you. I like the combination.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to leave the United States. I was born and raised here. Like when I'm in LA, I can catch up with so many of my friends. But when I'm in Germany, I have my family. And the longer I'm with my wife, it's like, I think the lucky person, I used to think the opposite of this, but I feel like the best is when you have everyone in one city. And you live there all year. Or you travel, but you live there in one. I think the relationships you have are year-round. Whereas with me, I have to travel to see my friends. My friends and my family are so spread out that I'm constantly having to be traveling to see people. And I think there's a luxury in when you have, like my wife has so many of her friends and family in Northwest Germany. It's easy for her. That's why our main home is in Bochum. Beautiful. I love Germany. But for me to see my friends, they're spread out across countries, cities.
You have German friends?
My boxing coach, I consider him a friend. There's a guy at my
He
gym.
speaks English?
A little bit. And there's a guy at my gym who's a New Yorker, but he lives in Germany. He's actually African American, but he's also not German. And my boxing coach, I consider him. But yeah, I've now started to make friends. But when I'm in Germany, man, it's like a creative place for me, where I'm alone outside of family, and I'm so isolated overseas that creatively it's like I'm in a cave and I can create. And I really like that. If I was just in New York all year or Miami or LA, I wouldn't necessarily have that creative isolation that I did, you know? And for me, being married is so crazy, bro, because like I was working with fashion models and models for so long. Like my business was basically meet women in the day at castings, get their phone number. A lot of the women would reject me. The ones that I would get their number. Most women would reject me. All the women I fucked, the Vogue magazine models I fucked, most women rejected me. My persistence helped me. Occasionally I would get women that would maybe they liked the tall Middle Eastern guy. They had like a fetish for it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women were scared of me. The European women come to New York and they see me outside of a casting. Tall Middle Eastern guy, they think I'm going to like fucking kidnap them and sell them as whores, you know? So I had a lot of things to overcome, but a lot of the women that I did get, that was it was like a PhD in women, what I learned, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to a nightclub with like 8 women, it was the closest thing to being a pimp that I ever experienced. But when I'm making $3,000 in a week when I was younger, and I was getting bottle service, you know, like I'm getting like $3,000 of bottle service, let's say every night. So that's like $15,000 of bottle service, not to mention the expensive restaurants that are doing complimentary dinners for us. So you're talking about like $15,000 to $20,000, let's say, of complimentary benefits, plus $3,000 a week, let's say, $4,000 a week. I had a lot of power, man. Plus the relationships I was meeting, the richest people in New York City. When you have pussy around you, it's easy to meet the most successful people, man. Because rich guys, they still want pussy, especially if they're divorced. You give me a rich guy who's going through a divorce, whose wife cheated on him, or he's fucking rich, but he can't get pussy, and then you show up and you're promoting parties at the best nightclubs in LA, and you got pussy, and you got like 8 of them, and you're rotating them, and you're constantly getting pussy around you. You to him, you're priceless. You're fucking priceless to that guy. That guy has 50 million cash in the bank. You might not have $50 in your bank account. You're waiting till Friday to cash the $1,800 check. But that guy has 50 million. As much as you have $50 in your bank account, you got an $1,800 check coming tomorrow. You're waiting for that check tomorrow. He's waiting to see you tomorrow to maybe get some pussy to cure his loneliness. 50 million cash in the bank. Still lonely. Can't get pussy other than paying for it. And then here you are. You think he's rich. He thinks you're rich.
So when was that turning moment where you were like, enough? Or did you just meet your wife and then you were like, I'm going to settle down? Like, what is the settling down moment?
You know, after over a decade of working with women, in particular fashion models in New York City nightclubs, 5 nights a week, being around pussy as a career, premium pussy. Once it was my moment to get married, I didn't marry a fashion model. I married like a little village girl, a little city girl. I specifically did not marry one of those women.
Of course not.
I specifically married a woman that never partied in Hollywood, never partied in Paris during Fashion Week, never partied at the Cannes Film Festival, never went to Art Basel in Miami. I specifically married a woman who never dated a nightclub promoter, who never showed her ass on Instagram. Specifically, bro, specifically, I picked a woman that would not fit in with that crowd. On purpose. It was intentional. You know, 2 of my ex-girlfriends were in Vogue magazine. Great women. I'm not taking that away from them. And there are many good models, man, that have good hearts, man. I'm not saying, and I don't want to discount all the women I know that are on fashion models or on social media. There's a lot of good women there too.
No, but American women have kind of lost their ways in knowing what it means to be a good mother and staying at home. And I mean, in our society, we praise women doing career and men staying at home and being stay-at-home dads.
All in the United States, it's become popular. It's becoming popular. I would say, yeah, in the United States, it's become popular that American women are basically worthless whores. And you should marry abroad. I'm a great example. I married a German woman. The German women in our city, obedient, clean the home, educated, great mothers. Great mothers. Organize the home, high level, and they want to do it. And by the way,
they see the value in it.
And they do it by choice.
Yeah.
Germany's super progressive. The chancellor was a woman. So just understand, like, I'm not talking about, you know, I'm not talking about Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about Iran, Afghanistan, Syria. I'm talking about Germany, where the chancellor was a woman. And in a progressive country like that, in our city in Germany, my wife, so many of her family and friends, they like being housewives. And they're educated. And they're obedient, docile, and submissive. They organize the home. They're loving to their kids. Now, does my wife have friends who are career-oriented? Yeah, of course. But as a general rule of thumb, a lot of the women, they like being at home. They don't look at it, bro. Like, they don't look at it like it's disrespectful, man. It's so fucking delusional to think like this. My wife has a higher level of education than I do. She's a college graduate. I left college. I didn't finish college with a degree. She finished college with a degree. She's more educated than me. And I'm happy when she stays with my daughter right now. Right now, she's with my daughter. And my mom, or unless my mom took her and she's taking a break, but because my mom's visiting us for a few days. But what better than to have the mother with your child? Why would you want to pay a stranger to love your child? That's fucking, bro, that's so, it's the degeneracy of the breaking the family structure in America. The government, strangers are educating your kids. It's just like control over your kid. And then in New York, I saw the sign. Looks innocent. In my old neighborhood. Free summer lunch. So you can go and have lunch as a kid. All good. Wow, right? And it's right by a playground. You see kids playing. And right below it, you got a gay flag. Now, if someone's gay or not, none of my business. But why do we have to talk about sex? Right under a sign to tell children to come get a free lunch at a playground for 7-year-olds. We're talking about sexuality. Oh, just let them be kids, man. When they're 16, 18, teach them all the gay, straight, trans, anything you fucking want. But when they're kids, man, it's just, I don't know, man. That just seems to me like, I wish we have like a limit, man. Like let the kid be a kid till 16. 17 before you talk about dick and pussy and ass, blowjobs. You know, hey, let the kid be a kid till he's 16. That's not much to ask, bro. You know what I mean? It's not much to ask to say, hey, you can be a kid, but at 16, we're going to introduce you to the science of giving a blowjob. Taking it in the ass. Does a 7-year-old at a playground need to learn about taking it in the ass and giving a blowjob and sucking a tit? It's fucking crazy. And I'm not even a conservative or a liberal, bro. I'm a pretty independent guy. My wife's liberal. I'm fucking telling you this. I live in Germany, bro. Liberal country. You know what I mean? My fucking therapist is gay.
But the liberals have lost their mind.
Yeah.
I was a liberal my whole life, or considered, because my parents were liberal in Austria, right? But like what's happening now makes me a conservative more and more because it's out of hand. And when you think about it, what better way to control families when there is no strong father figure anymore? When the man lost all sense of making decisions, and maybe the woman makes the decision of the family. As an example of getting a vaccine, women tend to go for emotional decisions, especially when they have fear, especially when it comes to their kids. And it takes a very dark turn because I feel like they're trying to make men so evil and so toxic, and like there's no real man anymore. They want to take that away. In Europe, there's more value, I think, a little bit more value to a strong man and a masculine man. And when I look at social media or movies, Hollywood movies, bro, there's no blowjobs. Have you ever seen a blowjob in a movie? It's always a guy eating a girl out at all times.
Wow.
Because like the Hollywood directors are like, this is feminism, right? This is liberal. We're so open. The guy always eats pussy, always, because the guy has to be submissive. If the guys are submissive, everybody gets vexed. There's we all bend down to whatever money machine they want to put on us.
Wow. That's crazy now that I think about it, man.
Because you cannot control. That's why they ban Andrew Tate. It's dangerous. When men stand up for themselves and they don't listen to the CDC anymore, don't wear a mask, they like think about what's in that stuff, and like they think about like why school got created. Did you know the school got created to separate parents from their kids?
Yeah.
Do you think I use anything I learned in fucking school? What a fucking waste of my youth and my time. I'm happy I stopped college after 2 years. Like, what the fuck are you teaching me? Just like old, frustrated teachers trying to teach me anything. They've never made $1 million. They don't have happy families. They hate their job. They hate every day they come here, and they want to teach me anything about life. And now I cannot talk to my father anymore, and my father is busy working, and I don't get nobody teaches me about LLCs and pharma, food, nutrition, my body, what you sign when you get married, real estate. I mean, I want to know. Education is key.
I've never, the only thing I have never seen Tristan Tate do anything that deserved being banned. And that was, to me, like, okay, you deserve to get banned. Like, I literally cannot think of one thing Tristan Tate has ever done where he deserved to get banned. Now,
What about Andrew?
But well, hold on. I say this as a man who I think that he should not be promoting alcohol. Not that he's promoting it, but okay. Andrew Tate, okay, let me just say this. Tristan Tate is smoking and doing drinks. I don't like that stuff. But aside from that, I have never seen him do anything, say anything that deserved to get banned from all those platforms, man. I don't think he deserved that. And with Andrew Tate, I never, again, other than the smoking and alcohol, which I would like to think they would both stop doing that. As an older guy, I say that. I don't think he ever did anything that deserved to get banned.
I don't smoke and drink, but if you want to do that, who am I to tell you what to do? I don't rule you.
Exactly.
If you want to do that, it's on you.
Yeah.
But should you get banned for that? But it's obvious why they get banned. They mobilize young men, which is the most dangerous crowd to mobilize. Once they listen to him, he becomes a problem because he frees their mind. He frees them from the matrix. So when you're not busy and distracted anymore, and you start thinking, you're not going to be a slave anymore, and they need the slaves.
I mean,
there's no slaves. Who's going to bring your Amazon package? Who's going to work in the factories?
Yeah.
Right? Who's going to help you like with anything? It doesn't work. The way we live, we want our new iPhone, we want our cars, we want our Wi-Fi to run, and the slaves are very much needed. What I don't get is why harm everybody so much with this pharmaceutical industry? Wouldn't it be so much better if everybody would just work more?
I mean, but really, when you objectively think about it, we're both married. We both are fathers. So if you and me, as fathers and husbands, we look at Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, we both disagree with their drinking and smoking because we don't do either. But we both can look at it and say, they never did a video that deserved to get banned.
More the opposite. I cannot think of a single thing I disagree with.
Yeah.
I cannot think of a single thing. But then the crazy thing is, I've never looked up to anyone more. People always like tell me, we're the role models today. You know, who can I look up to? You think I look up to Biden? I need a strong masculine figure. Every young man needs a superhero to look up to and be like, I want to be like that. Yes. I want to be successful. I want to be strong. I don't want somebody telling me I need to get in touch more with my feminine side. I need to cry more. I need to address my problems with a therapist. I don't need somebody telling me I'm depressed and I have anxiety. I want to be strong. I want to feel my potential, physical, mentally, you know?
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to look up to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, good example.
Yeah, I used to idolize Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the way he would bodybuild and stuff. Yeah, I didn't look up to a guy that was acting like feminine. I literally looked up to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I also looked up to Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur passed away, but Tupac Shakur, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I would say those two are my heroes, man. Bruce Lee. Years ago when I was in college, I was actually talking to my teammates about how wonderful women are for their ability to suck cock. And then both of them got really upset with me. They were offended, and they said I was sexist. Well, I later found out that both of those queers were gay for each other. And they would pride themselves in how well they could suck each other off. And that was actually when I learned Alpha King rule number 618. Be nice to your friends, because some of them could be gay. You never really know, man, in this day and age, who's gay or straight.
I mean, there's a lot of confusion. They say that society comes to an end when nobody has a gender anymore, and it all becomes just one big mush. You lose your purpose.
Well,
They talked about this in Joe Rogan, I think, where they say like there's always like when you become attracted to kind of like nothing, actually.
it's like me asking you, and I ask you respectfully,
Mm.
Are you gay or normal?
Straight.
I ask you because the set is gay as fuck. And I was wondering, would this rub off on me? Do you ever go home and have like gay fantasies?
No, not really.
No. How about you, man? Do you ever like, does this ever rub off on you? Sometimes. All right, cool. Okay. All right, cool, man. No, but it's like you never know. Right? Like,
If it rubs off,
yeah.
but
You think being gay, George Washington was the first president of the United States. He was also a gay man. And he had a theory that being gay was contagious. So that was actually a part of why we had the Civil War in the United States. So we've been dealing with homosexuality in this country for a long while, man. Yeah. What do you think about OnlyFans?
well, it's at the one side I see how it like breaks the matrix of you making so much money.
Yeah.
On the other side, I see the degeneracy. And my accent comes out.
Yeah.
I see how degenerate it is. But then I also see the business side, where you don't have to suck up to a model agency or to like a big player, even YouTube or Hollywood.
Yeah.
That part is gone. To make $50,000 or $100,000, normally you need employees.
Yeah.
You need a good sense of business. You need a vision. You need a company, a product, some sort of service. OnlyFans, you're only taking pictures. And of course, there's a lot of porn and degeneracy going on. But then there's also women that are just taking advantage of making a lot of money very easy and quick.
You know, I have never used OnlyFans, but as a father with a daughter, I am empathetic to men that use OnlyFans. If they're having a challenge to get women and they can pay to get close to a woman, it's sort of like a heightened porn. Like you can actually talk to the person.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of sad.
It is sad. It is sad, but I
Yeah.
can see how men would want to use it though.
Yeah. Of course.
I can see it, you know? I can see it. And maybe they're so lonely, man, that's all they have.
And not only that, it's also porn is free, right? I
Yeah.
can watch any fucked up shit I want at any point for free. Tentacles, you name it, right? Gangbang, 20 black guys, one little chick.
Yeah.
I can watch that. OnlyFans is about, it's almost like those Japanese places where you pay to talk to a lady or just to get cuddled. You know those places?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I think OnlyFans is all about the talking, because I can see pussy for free. So I want to talk, right? So I want to have a connection. I want to think I'm like talking to you, and like I don't know what they want, but so I guess it's not as fucked up as like porn sites where it's all about step sisters and couches and
I didn't know about I've been to Japan. I didn't know about the cuddling.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. I think I have heard
They're
something
so lonely.
like it. Maybe, yeah.
They cuddle you for money.
That makes
No
sense.
sex, just cuddling.
I think maybe I've heard of that.
Mm.
But you know, getting a man to pay for that, if they're lonely, makes sense. You know, in the United States, it's interesting. You mentioned 20 black guys with a woman. It's interesting you mentioned that. Because in America, there's this obsession with black men banging a white women.
Have you seen 20 white guys banging a black chick?
I don't think it's as popular, right?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You know, in Germany, I'll tell you, this is American thinking. This is American thinking.
It would probably be racist because it would be 20 guys taking advantage of one black woman.
Yeah, I mean, it's
as giving a blowjob on cinema is also offensive.
Put it like this. In the United States, there's an obsession with black men fucking white women. But when I live in Germany, and now it's been about 3 or 4 years I've been living in Germany, I have a home there. They don't talk about it there like they talk about it here. It just doesn't, like a black, white, it just doesn't have the same emotional trigger that it does here.
Well, it's not ingrained, they ingrain Hitler there and not the slavery. But that's how I grew up in. Every day they teach me,
yes,
you're bad, it was bad, this happened. And like they want to put that pain in the next generation, especially in Germany.
See, that's the thing.
And that's what they do in America with slavery.
Yeah,
that's why there's Black History Month. And they want to remind everybody, hey, you're a victim. Bend down. You're not strong. You're weak. We actually need to celebrate bad things and what happened to you, even though you're way generational past all that stuff. I don't have anything to do with Hitler just because I'm born in Austria.
My father-in-law told me that something similar. My father-in-law, German, loves me like a son. I love him like a dad. I look up to him. He knows that too. And he looked at me at a family dinner and he said something like, I'm not sorry for what the Germans did to the Jews. I'm Jewish. He knows that. But he's also the same guy that would protest against neo-Nazis and stuff like that. Because he says, that was before I was alive.
So how could it be your fault?
Yeah. You know, I think in Germany we have an issue because we have a party called Alternative for Deutschland, AfD. That's what I think they're called. And they basically make the argument that you made that we've lost our pride in German history and tradition, our family, our mothers, our grandmothers. And they make a valid point, man, that it should not, they should be able to take pride in their history like any other group of people.
But have you ever seen one German flag in a garden? There is not a single Austrian flag anywhere.
I have one neighbor that has that.
But it's very,
Yeah.
if you have a German flag on your shirt, you're like almost a Nazi.
Really?
Close to it. You
Yeah,
would
my wife says
never, there's no patriot, like they ingrained me, you can never be patriotic or happy to be an Austrian, ever. You need to be ashamed.
Well, okay, well, how about this? Since you're saying this point, it's a good point. My wife actually gets a kick out of how much people wear flags here.
Oh yeah, same here. I love American flag.
Yeah.
I would want to have one in the garden.
No, but I'm saying she notices, she like, it's like a joke, like how much Americans love their flag. You don't see that in many other countries, not just Germany or Austria, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
There are many countries that don't
But
do
she
that.
like think it's funny or she admires it? Because I admire it.
No, she thinks it's funny. No opinion on it.
No.
No opinion on it.
Because I admire it. I wish I was American. I wish I could, when I always was in the line and they're like always like, welcome back home. I wish somebody would like say that. They don't say that when you come back to Austria. Nobody says welcome back home or welcome home, Mr. Hellriegel. There's no such thing. There's no pride. Nobody's proud.
One of my happiest moments when I come back to the United States after being gone in Germany is when the custom officer says, welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
I would be in the line. I would hear that.
I love it.
And I want to hear that.
I love when I come to American soil, get off.
Yeah. You talk about like pharmaceuticals, and I ran away from like free healthcare, free education, but mostly, and that's, I think you have a blessing, is because you don't understand the language.
Yeah. I know.
Because I don't fuck with Germany.
A lot of people in Europe feel that way.
I don't fuck with Austria. I don't fuck with Switzerland. I don't fuck with those fuckers. Because if you show them where we're sitting, they might even get aggressive. They might even never sit on this couch. And I always loved, that's why I do this fruity gay shit, because I'm more of a man at all times than most of these people. Like I wear the gay stuff almost like as a troll because I am as straight as they come.
Yeah.
Because and that does nothing to me. I even think it's crazy that they take away the rainbow. A rainbow is supposed to be something happy and for kids. It's nothing to do with sexuality. I love rainbows. Everybody loves rainbow. If you see a rainbow, nobody's sad when you see a rainbow.
I think
now a rainbow is gay. If I post a rainbow emoji, I'm gay on social media.
I think you would like Miami, man.
Yeah?
I think so, because like these colors are more like Miami. They have very colorful in Miami. Like you would fit in Miami, man.
But I don't like to fit in.
You don't like to fit in?
No.
Yeah.
If I fit in, if everybody wears rainbow, I'll dress all black.
Yeah.
Because it's just too boring. Life is short. You gotta fuck everybody, bro. Fuck how everybody looks and what everybody does. You gotta have fun, man.
Maybe that's why I like living in Germany.
Yeah, because you're the black sheep there.
I am the black sheep there.
Yeah.
I don't even...
Nobody's like you there.
No. Especially at my small city.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
I did it for 20 years, bro. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, you're here now 7 years.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing, just vice versa.
And it's so nice if the little whisper, the little comments, the looks. I mean, it's different if you dress like this, but if you dress like that, if you're like Candy Can there, it's...
Well, there's not that many people in Bochum wearing like a collectible shirt. I got this from like a specific place where they sell collectibles in Manhattan. You don't sign, but they wear Birkenstock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's German as it can be, right? Lululemon, they don't really wear in Germany. But I would say that, how long you been here before you been back to Austria?
Well, I was in New York, and before that I studied in Berlin photography.
But when was the last day you were in Austria?
I think 3 years ago.
When is the last point that you heard someone in your face speak to you with an Austrian accent in person?
3 years ago.
It's like me. When I go to Germany, especially during the lockdowns, now not so much, but I could literally go several months and in person not speak to one person who has an American accent, have a conversation. I'm that isolated, you know? Like the Deutschland that I live, the Germany that I live, nah, man, you don't hear American accents. Like I know one American at the gym, African-American man, who came there because he was an actor. Now he's living there. Him and I are the only, both New Yorkers or lived in New York, literally like the only guy like that I can have a conversation with an American accent. Now, if I go to Amsterdam, which is close, you can hear American accents. Frankfurt, Heidelberg, beautiful city. I got married in Heidelberg. In Heidelberg, you hear American accents. Heidelberg's much closer to Austria, Switzerland, Italy. But you grew up in a very beautiful place, man, of Austria. I mean, you literally grew up in the Alps. How is it for you living in California, man? I mean, you lived in literally, which I consider one of the most beautiful places literally in the world and one of the highest standard of living, very rich. The intersection of the Alps of Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. You were born there. Think about it. One of the richest places in the world, one of the most beautiful scenic places in the world. You could get healthy foods living there, man. Great healthcare, and you left all that to come to Los Angeles. I'm sorry, man. A lot of Americans that be like, that's a crazy motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? So what like, and you can't say you're saving taxes because you're paying about the same taxes here as fucking over there, man. And you got a kid, so I'm just like really curious. You know, what really still drives you?
I think it's opportunity.
Okay.
Everything is traditional there. There's small circles with everything there. And there's a lot of bureaucracy, especially in Germany, bro. I don't know if you looked into the business world, but it's intense.
It is.
They don't allow Uber.
Yeah.
You think you have a great idea? Fuck you. They don't allow shit. And you pay 50% taxes. 50.
But they still have a lot of innovation. Why do you think?
I don't know, but
why do you think there's so much innovation out of Germany? They're very inventive people, man. Some of the greatest technologies come from Germany. Austria is very inventive. So why do you think that?
But not like America. The last product they did was like Red Bull and Swarovski.
Nah, bro.
What is from Austria?
Austria, I think, has quite a bit of innovation in the biotech sphere.
That might be because of like older generations, but I feel like the newer generations, even, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of power in Germany, and the language barrier is big.
Well, why do you think there's so much innovation and new technology in Germany despite the regulation? Because that's something I can't figure out.
Why?
Yeah. How can they have so much regulation and so much innovation? Because to me, I'm also a businessman. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, how's that possible that they have such regulation, but then so many innovators? It's like,
I think language divides, right? There's not often that an American fights another American, right? We always fight people that speak different language or look funny or are not like us, right? You want to fight your opposite, kind of. You're not going to fight your own brother. So when there's so many, how many did you say in Germany? 58?
85 million.
85?
83 million, yeah.
I mean, almost 100 million people speak the same language. That's power. Because everywhere around, it's French, Spanish. Austrians have a crazy dialect. Switzerland, Hungary, Russia. If you have one place, everybody speaks the same language, it creates power.
I feel like in Europe, when I tell Europeans I live in Germany, there's a lot of distrust of the Germans. And people, not distrust and not really good feelings towards Germany, man. And I think even in Austria...
they hate the Germans.
Yeah, they feel superior to the Germans. But the reality is that in Germany, I think the reason is because Germany is so powerful.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Much more powerful than Austria. Yeah.
Just of any country in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's just basically like a jealousy. Like it's like a resentment that you're the most successful. It didn't matter if it was in Germany, if it was another country, it would be them. Yeah.
Not only that, there's also, I guess, fear.
Of the Germans?
Yeah. Because the history.
Yeah.
They're like tall, strong. Germans are like, they're taller than Austrians. Like when I go to Berlin, everybody's taller than me.
The Dutch are tall too, man.
Yeah.
You see, those motherfuckers are tall, man.
Yeah. Smaller, but smaller country.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers, man. It's like a fucking basketball team when you're walking around. Well, shit, man, this was a good talk. We went wild here, man. Right? Shit, man. I was thinking it was gonna be like a quick talk. We went a while. That was good. It was good, man. You gonna go see your kid after this?
Of course.
Yeah.
You're soon, tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. Well,
thank you
man.
for making time. Well, hopefully you're back. I love to hear because I feel like the older my kid gets, the better it gets.
Yeah.
You think it's great now. Once they talk to you, I mean, everything becomes even more epic.
That's what my friend told me.
Yeah.
He said, wait till your friend talks. Wait till your kid talks.
Yeah. And like once they like don't need their mom all the time anymore. Once you're like important. Like now he's like 2. Soon it's gonna be like 2.5. Like before it's just mom, mom, mom. Like I heard you say like if your baby cries in the middle of the night, you're not gonna do shit, you know? Same with him. Like if he cries, he wants his mom, you know?
Yeah.
But now I bring him to school and he's happy like when I pick him up and you know he comes with a big hug and he like mentions me when I'm not there and like stuff like that. And like then you're like, wow, like shit, like I'm important too, you know?
Yeah, man. It's a gift.
You're gonna have many more?
I hope so. You?
Well, it's up to my wife.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the pregnancy thing is rough.
Yeah.
On the body and mind and everything.
Especially if there's complications.
Yeah. So I would want to have as many as, I don't want to say afford because I always see all these beautiful Mexican families that have like 5 kids and they don't give a fuck about money. They don't think like the white person, you know, like, can I afford a kid? And I love that. Like they know the value.
They seem happy too.
They're so happy.
Yeah.
They're so happy. It's crazy to me.
They're like happier than the rich families. You know?
And I've met so many Americans that wait and want to be successful and, you know, can't afford another kid, you know, all that.
The Mexicans can be really happy, man.
You can.
I admire them.
Yeah, if you look at them, you can learn from that. And they're also, they don't fight, it seems. They're like fucking barbecuing at the park. Nobody, if you look at them, they don't fight. They're not on their phone. They're like, you know, they're all a little chubby, but they enjoy life.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy to me.
They enjoy life.
It's crazy to me. I don't know what it is, but
my father always respected the Mexicans.
Yeah, but bro, they run LA.
The Mexicans, the people from El Salvador and Guatemala. My father always had respect for them. He's Iranian, and I remember one day on a hot day, my father told me to look outside the window, and there was a group of Mexicans, El Salvadorians, and Guatemalans. My dad used to hire immigrants. He was an immigrant from Iran. And he said, come here, boy. In Farsi, he talked to me. I said, yes, Dad. He said, look outside this window. It was like 100 degrees, humid, very humid, hot, sunny day. He said, look outside. You see these men? I said, yeah. He said, you see how they work hard? Like, yeah. He's like, that's what it's going to take for you to be successful.
Like that.
Like, it's the mindset of working hard, like a fucking man. You know?
Were you always, I have to ask you this before you leave.
Yeah.
Were you always like an alpha? Or did you have a strong father figure? Did Arnold do it for you? Like what makes you being like, I don't want to be a bitch ass, being in touch with my sensitive side, all feminine and shit, crying about my feelings on a therapist? What makes you like be like, nah,
well,
I'm alpha king?
Just to give you an example, my father, on a hot, humid, sunny summer
that's a good example.
Right? Pulls him aside. Come here, boy. Farsi. Look at those people, those men from El Salvador, Mexico, and Guatemala. And he looks at me and he says to me, if you don't understand that as hard work, then you don't basically understand the value of money. And until you understand that, you can never be a Bill Gates. I remember Bill Gates was the example. My memory's coming back to me. Bill Gates understands the value of that hard work. That Mexican, that Guatemalan, that guy from El Salvador, maybe doesn't speak English, but he understands the value of that money when he's out there working. If you don't work hard, man, how you going to understand? How you going to be a fucking man? How you going to take care? You can't understand money and the importance of it. How you going to take care of your wife? I don't know about you, man, but I fucking love that my wife does not need to work. She can work as a teacher part-time. She helps some of the workers at her father's factory. He's a CEO in the auto sector. And she teaches some of them English. A few hours a week. But she doesn't have to do it. She doesn't have to do it. I take care of all the groceries. I take care of our homes. I take care of my daughter. I like to buy organic food for my daughter if we're not at a farm buying real food or farmer's market. I pay for the health insurance. I pay for the clothes. I pay for our vacations. I give my wife gifts. I give my daughter gifts. My wife will give me a list of expenses that she paid for, and I reimburse her, or she uses my credit cards. To me, that's worth working hard.
But we're losing that.
Yeah, because
that's why this big need of Andrew Tate is here.
Yeah, we are losing that. And the reality is that she gets to be fully focused on raising our daughter. My daughter loves being around my wife. So if the best gift I can give my daughter is to play with her mom, bro, like, what else am I going to spend the fucking money on? It doesn't cost much to have a wife and kid, by the way. People fucking blow it out of... I used to think like, oh, you don't know how much money it costs to have a kid. It doesn't cost that. Give me a fucking break. Like, it doesn't cost that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it costs money. It doesn't cost that much. It doesn't cost that much, bro, to have a kid, get him some organic food, get him healthcare, get him some clothes. It doesn't cost that much. And the much that it costs, it's worth it to spend it because it's life, man. I don't want to die saying I never had a kid. Fuck, man. I hope when I die, my daughter is married and a man is protecting her. After I walk my daughter and hand her off to a man who will protect and provide her, respect her, love her, at that moment, maybe I have a drink after, let's say, 25 years, 30 years. And then maybe I look up to the sky and I say, I'm ready to die. My mission is complete. There's nothing I want in the world more than to be able to be alive and walk my daughter in her wedding to a man, and then he takes the responsibility of providing and protecting her and loving her. Because one day her dad's going to die. She's going to one day watch me die. It's part of my life. Part of your life is dying. It's not that it's not a part of your life. My father-in-law taught me this, a German. He said, dying is a part of your life experience. The more I face my own mortality, it's morbid, it's dark. But I realize more what's most important to me. And the thing that I want money can't buy is to be able to walk my daughter when she gets married. I have to take care of myself, man. You know, just like you. I try to avoid processed food. a lot. Try to get the vegetables, try to stay lean, get my checkups. There's this program called Life Force. I think Tony Robbins and Peter Diamandis are involved in it. He graduated from Harvard Medical School, and it checks like 40 biomarkers. It's more comprehensive. It's a blood test you can do once a quarter. And it's more comprehensive than like a typical physical. And it checks a bunch of things of your body. And then you can have like a medical doctor or health coach look at it and then give you a report and then help you improve. So all this diagnostic stuff and treatment of these chronic conditions, like if you look at every 4 years now, 4-year spans, the rate of innovation and disruption is getting exponentially faster. So like 1970 to 1974, let's say you had this much improvement. Now you're having like, let's say 4x that improvement, 10x that improvement. And every 4 years, it's going to be like exponentially faster. What's approved by the FDA or, for drugs, immunotherapy, diagnostic equipment, technology. So once your daughter, for example, is 20 years old, they're going to be able to catch things much earlier. So now I'm much more about getting checked every like 3 months now. I'm paranoid.
You should be.
Yeah, man. Because my greatest fear, other than not being alive to walk my daughter, is being sick and not knowing it. Being sick and knowing it is scary. Being sick and not knowing it and just letting it get worse for 3-4 years, to me, that's the most horrifying. Because then you have to think to yourself, fuck, I wish I got tested. I'd rather know than not know, man. With all the technology and artificial intelligence we have today, why not get tested? Why not get your blood tested for cancers with Grail? Test about 50 cancers. You can do an MRI scan with Prenova, detect about 500 cancers. Why not find out how your blood and urine is? Why not test your stool? There's a company in Germany, and they have it's actually a company in Austria. They have a relationship with, I think it's the University of Vienna. You heard of it? Or Vienna University, something like that. It's one of the oldest medical universities in Europe. And they have laboratories. So you can take a shit, you capture a sample of your shit, you send it over, and then they can basically help you understand what's going on with your gut microbe biome, like what's inside your gut. And it's so much better to know what's going on than not know, man. Even like the measurement where you can go to sleep and see your sleep performance. So many of these problems can be avoided by not smoking, having good relationships, sleeping well, and staying lean. Staying lean is a fucking critical, man. Because staying lean, not smoking, not drinking, keeping your stress down, being around family, friends. If you can be stress-free and relaxed like these Mexicans, right? If you can like fucking be fitness-oriented like a personal trainer, if you can be sober like one of these guys in the AA meetings, if you can sleep well like someone who's just lazy, if you can get your medical checkups like someone who's paranoid, you're just like improving your probability of success to live. If you have friends, like you're just improving your probability of success, man. Just because you look great on Instagram doesn't mean the inside of your body is healthy. You could be taking all the supplements that are damaging your liver. Maybe not now when you're 31 or 25, but when you're 42, it comes out. Taking steroids, maybe now you look good. Maybe 10 years from now, you have a heart attack. You're smoking now and you're not eating much, so you have a 6-pack stomach on Instagram. Yeah. But in 11 years, you get fucking lung cancer or some other situation. So it's like, Are you healthy on Instagram, or are you healthy when you get your blood, urine, stool, MRI checkup? Like, I want to be healthy like that. I try to get a colonoscopy, man. I'm 42. My doctor, my urologist said that I was too young for that checkup. He asked me to have, blood in my stool. I said, no, but I still want to get it.
You should probably tell him you have blood in your stool.
You're the second person at least to tell me that.
It's unfortunate, but my wife always tells me, like, tell them the worst, otherwise they won't check you for shit. You know? She always like tells them crazy shit. I'm like, yo, that's not like what's happening. She's like, no, if you don't tell them all this stuff, they're just gonna ignore it.
Your wife and my wife are the same in that way. Because when I go to the fucking doctor, man, when I go to the doctor, like, I'm scared to say everything, to be honest.
I like trying to be as rational.
Yeah, my wife will be like, no, he had this happen, this happened, this happened.
I'm like,
oh, this person had this condition in his family. I'm like, fuck, like, you're fucking scaring the shit out of me, man. But I love my wife for caring.
I know. I think it gives you that balance. It needs that. Even the caring, and like my brother was the other day, he was like, why is she always scared? Like, she's always so scared. I'm like, no, she's always watching out. She cares because I don't care. You know, sometimes you're just too much of a man. You need that caring side too, especially in a family with a daughter or a son or a young baby, you know, they care much more.
If you look at guys like Tom Brady, Ryan Reynolds, or Ronaldo, the soccer player, and you notice how lean they are. To me, I feel like that's really like the ideal body type preference for me, because they're older and they're so lean. And I just feel like you avoid so many illnesses by being really lean.
Fasting.
Yeah, I love fasting. I'm addicted to it now. You fast? I just started maybe...
Eating all the fucking time makes you sick.
Bro, I tell you...
Your body can never heal itself. It looks like it's healing itself all the time if we wouldn't just fucking eat every minute of the day.
Ken, I've been intermittent fasting for about 3 months. Not every day, but a lot of days, most days. Like, not when I'm traveling, I like to go easy on myself when I'm on the road. But intermittent fasting is, and having low carbs.
Sugar.
Yeah, low sugar. Bro, I lost so much weight doing this that I was like, I got to integrate more carbs because I wanted to gain weight. So you know how that's how real it is with carbs. Like, if you eat a lot of carbs, you gain weight, right? But that's how real it is. That if someone like me stops eating so many carbs, I just keep losing weight. Like, it fucking just tanks, bro. Because I love boxing, I exercise. So it just drops. I just keep going. Then I get scared. I'm like, shit, I don't want to be 168 at fucking my height. So I hit 170, which is pretty lean for me with my height. And then I was like, okay, I got to have some carbs and make sure I'm not fucking dying. I mean, how am I losing so much weight? Then I immediately gained weight. That's how you know carbs are powerful. Stop eating so many carbs for 30 days. Watch yourself lose weight. Then eat carbs for 1 week. Watch it come right back. I mean, it's like that fast, bro. I don't know. My body's like that. I don't know. Is yours like that?
For sure. But I love, like, a lot of times sticking to fats and proteins.
Okay. Do you eat meat?
Yeah.
What do you think is healthier? Keto, Mediterranean, or vegan?
Vegan is probably the most unhealthy thing and least sustainable.
So which one's the healthiest?
You're killing yourself.
So which one's the healthiest?
Well, the healthiest would be if you have your own farm, so to speak. That's always the idea. Everything that's processed is bad for you. The best is if you, I mean, it's a tough one because also every body type works a different way. And I feel like it comes a lot down to what you ate your whole life. do you know, like in Europe, everybody can drink milk. In America, most people are lactose intolerant. So if you eat a lot of and my dad ate meat his whole life, and now he stopped, and it's not good for him. I can see it's not good for him. And then there might be a person that works very well just off vegetables. Every country is different. It's a lot of genetics, but in the end, I feel like you need to, if you could hunt your own animal and eat it, it would be the best.
Yeah, I mean,
But meat is key. It has everything you need, and it's just very unfortunate with the vegetables and fruit because they spray these fields with so much shit. It's different when you go to a farmer's market in Germany or in Austria. It's very different.
You understand, man.
But in America, like they say vegetables is good for you. Yes, not in America. I don't eat any vegetables here.
It's amazing.
Bro, I don't eat vegetables.
It's really amazing you say this, man. Yeah. I didn't expect that you and I would understand each other this well. I tell Americans that in America, the diners, the restaurants, the grocery stores, they basically sell shit. Because in Germany, the diners, the restaurants, the grocery stores, by law, by regulation, they can't sell that shit that they sell here.
Oh,
you can't find that shit.
No.
Bro, they don't have, it's by law. Even by law, the food that you give your baby in Germany has to be organic by law. By law. You know what I'm saying? Like the Coca-Cola in the United States, the Coca-Cola in Germany, the Coca-Cola in the United States sells shit in their Coca-Cola. You can't, that's against the law in Germany. In Germany, you have less sugar in the foods. You talk about sugar. It's by law. There's greater transparency from what happened in the field and what happened. Bro, imagine how many people would not get sick if all that shit they put in the vegetables and the fruits. If you're not buying vegetables from a farmer's market, if you're not buying it from a farm, if you're not buying it at the very least organic, which I think is somewhat of a scam, by the way, but
in America,
yeah,
doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, but I still think it's better than not getting it.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is a little bit of a scam. But if you're eating just regular, that's the thing about the restaurants. Restaurants don't have to show you. Like, bro, could you imagine eating when you eat at a restaurant in America, you have no idea, did the chef put garbage vegetables and fruits in your food? Whereas in Germany, you go to a restaurant, you know that the vegetables and the fruits had some regulation and they avoided that shit in the food. So it's just across the board.
Do you know my wife, she's pregnant right now and she cannot eat out anymore. Her body refuses to eat that. Do you know that when you're pregnant, you're the least cancerous?
Wow.
To protect the baby? You're the least likely to catch a cancer or any sort of illness because your full body now concentrates on another living being. And also you reject a lot of foods because the body knows. And she doesn't eat out anymore. She can't do it because everything also is so salty. And like you say, you have no idea what the fuck they're doing. So now she only eats homemade food.
If you took half the restaurants in the United States, this is a pretty crazy idea. It's a crazy idea I have. I don't expect you to agree with me. It's a crazy idea I have to make the country healthier. And again, I don't expect you to agree with me. If you took half the restaurants in the United States of America, half of them, closed half of them, and then took that land and made a farm, a mini garden, vegetables, fruits, without pesticides, additives, all that filth. And people just go there. There's a few tables. You can have fresh food and eat it. I think that alone would help make this country healthier, man. That alone would help. If we just cut out the garbage in our fruits and vegetables, that alone will save lives. Because it's carcinogens.
Of course.
Otto Warburg.
Food is medicine.
Otto Warburg. There's a great biography on Otto Warburg. He was a German Jewish Nobel Peace Prize winner. He was gay. And he was alive during the Nazi regime. Adolf Hitler was obsessed with cancer. Many people don't know that. Adolf Hitler had an obsession with sugar. And back then, people were starting to catch cancer a lot. And I think Himmler also had an obsession with sugar and cancer, or cancer at least. And it got to the point where Otto Warburg was working really hard on finding a cure for cancer. And there's a great biography by Sam Apple, Otto Warburg's life. And one thing I took from that book was how he did not like to eat food at restaurants. And he basically had his own garden, the equivalent of today only eating organic. He was someone that was finding things that now we're looking back on like, wow, his medical discoveries helped us with our understanding of cancer. And one thing he was adamant about was not eating the filth that's not basically organic, growing your own vegetables, fruits basically. And that's even back then in Germany. So imagine what he would think of the United States.
It's insane.
Right?
Yeah.
And
It really makes me wanna, but then it's just so, they got us locked in, bro, with this fucking Wi-Fi, these fucking phones. You're glued to your phone, and this fucking, now you can see what everybody else is doing, you know?
I mean, just in the United States, talk about 3 points they fuck you. Point number 1, how expensive healthcare is. Point number 2, the trash food you get sold. Point number 3, like who's there to help you? Who's really there to help you? Now in Germany, for example, healthier food. 2nd, healthcare is affordable. 3rd, you have a society that's saying, we're going to stick together and helping each other, forcing the employer to take care of their worker. And I think when you have a society like that, you're investing in all the people that you have. If there's one function that government should do, I think, other than all the degeneracy that they do, at least say that you're going to help people get healthcare. I think, like, what the fuck else are you doing? Like, building roads? That's what they say here in America. Oh yeah, who's building the roads? You know how much money we're paying in taxes? Fuck's this shit going? Like, where's this money going with all the taxes? In Germany, in Austria, in Netherlands. I live an hour from the Dutch border. I see where their money goes. People say, Germany spends a lot of money on taxes. Austria, Switzerland, Netherlands, Denmark, the neighbors. Yeah, they do spend a lot of money on taxes. But at least when I'm there, my home in Germany, I can at least see where these people's money goes. Here in America, we're paying so much in taxes. Where the fuck? California's paying all this money in taxes, and it's just like fucking, there's people sleeping on the fucking sidewalk, bro. Like, all the taxes they're paying in this state. I'd be furious if I lived in this state. And I'm like, I'm paying this much in taxes and I have to deal with this level of violence and homelessness. No wonder they think healthcare is communism. No, the problem is that they're so corrupt. Because in Germany, which pays about similar taxes, you have safety, excellent healthcare, and excellent college. The problem isn't that people are getting excellent healthcare and college. The problem is that it's so corrupt. Nancy Pelosi's basically a thug. You know, Newsom, a thug. These people are criminals. So it's not the fact that it's the healthcare. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not criminals. Maybe they're just dishonest. I don't know. I don't know them. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, I apologize. Really. But I do think that it's not paying, because you can realistically say in Germany, the tax rate is about the same as a high income earner, for a high income earner, as California or New York City. It's about the same, bro. But New York City and Los Angeles are so violent. You got people living in the street. Motherfuckers don't have health care. But in Germany, That's not even an issue. Now, do you have no problems? Of course you got problems. Someone complains that, oh, my uncle went to the hospital for 3 nights and the nurse didn't come wipe his ass for 3 nights. I went to visit my uncle and I noticed he had shit in his bed. That's fucked up. I agree. German healthcare system could do better. But at least the uncle is getting treatment by a great doctor, great technology. Compared to what? The uncle being here, he's sick, fuck off. Or you're going to spend so much money, you're going to lose your home. Of course, as a father, I wouldn't want to put my daughter in this degenerate state. I say that respectfully. I lived in Malibu for a year. I love California. Of course, I wouldn't want to have my kid, as an American, grow up in this country. I hate to say that because I have a lot of American friends. I was born and raised here. It hurts me to talk like this about America. It hurts me to say Americans have become idiots that accept a government that rips them off. The pharmaceutical company rips them off. Big food rips them off. The hospital companies rip them off, and they do nothing like idiots, and they take it. And they pay so much in taxes, and they pay so much in healthcare, and they just take it. In Germany, they pay a lot of taxes, but guess what? Better food, better hospitals, great doctors, great technology. Now, before someone says to me, oh yeah, they don't have technology like we do here in the United States. Some of the medical technology they use in the United States comes from Germany. Siemens is German. So it's just like, it has nothing, but yes, there's a lot of innovation in America.
Not only innovation, culture.
I think America would be a lot better, man, if we had if America didn't have the corruption and it took care of its people, then I would say this is by far superior to a country like Germany or
like even
South
you're
Korea.
Saying all of that.
Yeah, what do you think? As an
Austrian, America is the greatest country of all times, ever. I love America.
I love that America, anyone could be American.
It's the land of the free. You have to work hard. I love that mindset. And you will not be helped if you're lazy and a peasant. I always thought it was great to help everybody and everybody gets healthcare, but you should, I don't know. Okay, healthcare, yes, but then the health system is so fucked up as is. They still got all the vaccine. They still COVID shot everybody there. Everybody's still wearing masks over there. If they wouldn't comply and they would be like, well, hold on a minute. What's happening? What's going on here? But they just complied. And then they don't have guns. And then they just have to do what the government says.
What's fascinating here is that as a guy that's pretty right-leaning, you're Austrian, you still agree about people being able to have healthcare. That's something I noticed in other countries, that the people that are right-leaning in other rich countries still think everyone should have healthcare.
Definitely. But the healthcare as is.
But hold on, in America, the right-leaning may not think that.
Yeah. Well, because how can you be left or right? If I have things that are like there, I have things that are like there. I can't agree with one side. Nobody can. If you're really honest with yourself, nobody can agree with one party. We're too complex. It makes no sense to me that you're far right or far left. What are you saying? We're all humans. We all want certain rights. The thing is, growing up, you didn't grow up in Europe. When you're young, you see American television, you hear American music, you want to be a part of that. I want to go to high school. I want to listen to Drake,
Drake's Canadian.
I know, but it's American. It's American culture.
American dad.
Yeah. I mean, all the great people might be from all over the world, but I'm just saying. And then also, I can't look away. I can't go to Austria and hide there and just be healthy. That's why I'm doing this podcast. Information is key. If people wake up, if people listen to Joe Rogan and Andrew Tate and the Candy Can Show, we can raise some sort of awareness. And the more people wake up, the more we can change and make America great again. You know? I don't know if it ever was great. Make America great, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know too much about American history because my whole life I learned Austrian history.
Yeah.
That's just, I just said that to piss people off. But there is in Europe, there's also like a America you fantasize when you've never stepped a foot in it, right?
Yeah.
And there's so much wrong with this country, obviously, right?
Yeah, no
there's
country's-
so much fucked up. No, but especially America.
Yeah. No
They're
country's
obese.
perfect, though. Yeah.
They're more obese than anyone, more uneducated as anyone. Nobody knows Austria. Everybody thinks I'm from Australia, right?
Yeah.
Everybody. Nobody's traveling. Nobody speaks 2 languages. I mean, it's crazy. But then also, it's the land of opportunity and just so much potential. I feel like so many great people, so many great athletes. And also, you don't have a Joe Rogan or an Andrew Tate in Austria or Germany. They don't exist. I do not even know where people go for information. And America, you have the Elon Musk that is born in South Africa, but he's here now. And you have the Joe Rogan who hides now in Texas, who also doesn't want to be in fucking LA, right? But you have these geniuses, and I feel like my dad doesn't know. He can't listen to Joe Rogan. He can't listen to all these scientists going on there and explaining food and meat and vegetables. And this is like my number one source for information now. And he doesn't have that access. So he listens to the news, which is also corrupt over there. And there's so much things that are better about Europe. But I feel like we have a loop here. The internet ran over all this government shit, and now we have information. And this is why it's the best time to be alive, because they haven't found a way to stop this shit yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They try to shut Andrew Tate up. They try to shut Joe Rogan up. But Spotify is made in the Netherlands. So they don't take those COVID podcasts down.
Wow.
YouTube does. YouTube takes everything down.
Wow.
Because the advertisers on YouTube are pharmaceuticals, which is illegal everywhere besides New Zealand and America. No pharmaceutical company, as like cigarette companies, is allowed to advertise.
Wow.
Only America is like, you can advertise. And now they have so much money because things like COVID make billions that 80% of the ad revenue on YouTube comes from pharmaceuticals.
Wow.
So if Kennedy goes on there and talks about vaccines and talks about pharmaceuticals being the third killer, that shit gets taken down because they don't like that. Even if it's true, it has nothing to do with the truth. It has to do with the advertisers.
Wow. And that makes sense, man. I learned something today. Thank you for telling me that. No, really, I'm going to think about that.
It's all about the advertisers. It's not that there's like there might be some evil group that sits together, but it all just comes down to money at the end of the day. There's so much money in selling drugs legally.
That makes sense.
And America is the best in making money.
I thought to myself,
they're the best at hoeing everybody out.
No, but it makes sense why the COVID stuff is so taken down. That really even now, after all the things that have come out.
Know that the vaccine doesn't do anything, the masks don't help. Everybody knows. I mean, there's one like little fucker that still wears a mask these days, but everybody else knows. But there's no apology. There's no, okay, we agree. There is Kennedy wrote this book about Fauci, and it is so dark and so sad that his own wife did not read the book because she cannot. She doesn't want to see the world this way. She cannot see this darkness. But men are made to do things that they don't want to do. And that's one thing Andrew Tate. I always thought life is unfair. I always thought, why me? Why do I have to work hard? You know? Why not somebody else work hard? Until Andrew Tate told me, you're a man. So you have to be a man. So you have to do things that you don't want to do.
I've been hearing a lot of sounds like good things about Kennedy.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah?
It's phenomenal. He used to be an environmentalist. So he didn't want to do anything with politics. Just like how you say you don't want to talk about politics, but it all comes down to politics, right? So Kennedy did a Joe Rogan podcast that I cannot talk more greatly about. Which
I should listen to it.
Yeah, especially when you have kids. because it is so sad how much money there is in pharmaceuticals. It is so sad that even when you say get all your checkups, like I do, I love blood work, but also I look at my doctor and he's doesn't look healthy to me.
Have you looked into functional medicine?
No.
Functional medicine is our doctors, like Life Force. They have an understanding, I think, of functional medicine. Functional medicine is more like, let's be preventative. Let's go out and find what's wrong with you rather than be like responsive to, you have a symptom, now you're sick, now let's cure it.
Yeah.
So functional medicine is, we're jumping ahead of it. We're going out. Like today, you and I feel fine. Like I had a workout today. You seem like you feel fine, right?
I feel good.
Yeah. So like, yeah, today I'm feeling fine. But
So you're working ahead.
yeah, you're thinking ahead. I think
You don't wait till you get sick.
I think with artificial intelligence, brother, if you're not getting those tests, you're really wasting. It's as good as not having it. And I think it's a great it's a great way to play defense to all the filth that's in our food. And yeah, all the chemicals and stuff that are in our food. One way to counter that is at least use the AI and all the diagnostics.
But who do you trust? Because my doctor tells me to not go out in the sun. He looks like a skinny little bitch. Doesn't look healthy at all. Doesn't ask me if I work out. Doesn't ask any of the right questions. He's more like, you want a flu vaccine?
I would say even though in Germany, to be fair, I think that's just doctors in general, man. To be fair, I don't know if Austria is like that, but to be fair, I feel like even doctors in general think like that. If you get a doctor who's thinking preventative, that's like, I think, unusual. You know what I'm saying?
Or a doctor that works out.
Yeah.
Why can my doctor not be ripped? I want a ripped doctor. If you're not ripped, shut the fuck up. Don't tell me anything about what are you doing then? Who are you teaching? That's like getting a dentist that has fucked up teeth. What are you doing? It's like a fat person giving you ab exercises.
Yeah. If I don't have any definition in my abs, that's generally, I have maybe a 4-pack right now, to be honest. I don't have a 6-pack. At 42 years old, man, I'm just happy to have a flat stomach. But I know I can do better. And
I know if that was your one thing that you want to do, you would get it.
Yeah, I'm still trying. I'm not giving up. 4-pack, I got to push a little harder. I think I got to eat a little healthier, push a little harder to get it to 6-pack. But I'm obsessed with having a lean waist. I get made fun of for being skinny, thin by this woman in a clip recently. And I'm just like, you dumb bitch. Like, what do you want? You want me to be fat? Like what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, you're making fun of me for being lean? Like, yeah, I don't eat processed food much. I don't drink alcohol. I like eating berries. I like having seeds, nuts, vegetables, fruits. I like the variety, In a week, every man in this country should get at least 30 fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and legumes in their body, I think. Because then you have a unique effect, like a symphony, like an orchestra in your gut health. You have all these great things, antioxidants and stuff in your body, and they're interacting with each other. And there's a powerful effect in your gut. So now when I go to a buffet, I don't want just the mushrooms and let's say the broccoli, which I like. Now I try to get a little bit of mushroom, broccoli, tomato. I've been trying to get more sauerkraut when I can. You know what I mean? Brussels sprouts, the cabbage, like a variety, bro. Like a variety of mushrooms, a variety of tomato, a variety of cauliflower.
Have you ever tried only eating meat?
That's probably...
You should try it.
Yeah, that's one experiment.
Just 1 week.
Yeah, maybe I will try that, man.
You have to try it. It is the most insane thing.
How could I
Because
be
you're talking about
open-minded?
variety. I think we never had variety, right? Because we never were able to go on planes, cars, nothing of that. So our body is like made to be like in a little village, right? And then most berries kill us. It's very hard. Like if you would go out in the wild, I think we would die in like a day. Eat the wrong berry, dead right away. It's very common. Like people, they even they pick the wrong wood and then they poke the sausages, they burn it and they eat it dead.
So the people who eat all meat, they don't eat vegetables or fruit?
Well, the studies they've done are all triggered and all wrong because the people that are all eating all meat, they always ate it with like either fast food or fried or with carbs. There's no studies really on only meat. And then I would also say stay away from the birds because I would just eat red meat,
Do you ever eat vegetables or fruits?
fruits.
Not vegetables?
Not really. There's no point.
How about-
If you eat vegetables, you just want to chew for fun. If you want to chew for fun,
How about berries?
berries.
Acai bowl?
Yes, for sure.
So,
But meat, when you only eat meat, your body feels like it's not eating almost.
so
It's just so clean.
will you eat seeds? Like flax seeds, hemp seeds?
Not so much. The thing is,
but what is it permitted with your diet?
I've tried the vegan thing and my stomach hurts. It's hurting, especially when you go raw vegan. We're not made for that kind of shit. You shit 20 times a day and your body hurts.
You get diarrhea more when you go vegan?
You have so much diarrhea. Only diarrhea.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I feel like when I'm super plant-based,
Yeah.
my stool's not the same as when
You
I'm
have
eating
no
some meat.
energy, nothing. If you only eat meat, and most people have never tried this. They've tried keto, they've tried like no carbs, no sugar. But if you stay away from all the sauces and all that, you just eat meat. Or what I do also is like only animal products. So I would only eat milk, eggs, and meat. So I'm in the morning, I don't want to eat meat when I wake up. So I eat eggs.
My body doesn't do well with dairy though. I don't know why. Like if I eat ice cream, I get diarrhea or
Yeah.
something. I don't do well with.
Well, ice cream is
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just in general, dairy. I don't even have ice cream anymore.
most Americans do. So I would just do eggs and then I would eat meat. And then you will see, you feel light like a feather. You feel like you can run, you can go hunt, you're so, and also you don't have this carb brain fog, that insulin spike. Meat doesn't do any of that.
When you have an acai bowl, do you have it with granola?
Hmm.
So then you'll have carbs.
I'm not as strict anymore now with a family. There's sacrifices and like also like it's not like my main focus anymore. But before I had a family, I would do that a lot where I would only eat meat.
No acai bowl?
No acai bowls, none of that stuff. And it's
No
very
fruit? No fruit?
sometimes fruit because you get so hungry because you can only, that's also, you will never get fat only eating meat because you cannot, after a certain time, you can't get it down. It's like you can only eat that much steak and then you're like, but you still crave something. So you got to do like a couple of blueberries. I also only eat kind of blueberries because strawberries are fucked and grapes are fucked and oranges too. So I love blackberries, but they're like sour most of the time. So I stick to blueberries.
You know, as someone who has a plant-based Mediterranean diet, I always viewed the men who were eating keto and animal meat only as idiots. And now, after speaking to you, I realized that perhaps I was closed-minded. And I'm going to try that for 1 week where I actually eat red meat and nothing else other than some fruit.
I would just do some blueberries because it's too hardcore. Also, maybe some honey. Anything
honey.
from an animal, pretty much, is good. Because that's what we always had. We always ate meat.
So I'll give myself a portion of fruits
Uh-huh.
and then just red meat.
Yeah.
Can chicken count?
You can do some chicken. Just stay away from those crazy sauces.
How about fish?
I just watch too many documentaries on fish. They eat all the metal and like
How about turkey?
fish can't be good for you. And turkey makes you sleepy.
How about pork?
Pork is disgusting.
Turkey?
I don't like birds. I don't think they're as the
Like-
bioavailability of red meat. I'll send you a podcast also from Joe Rogan where people talk about red meat and like how these doctors that came to our parents and told them they need breakfast cereal are the same doctors that told them that red meat causes cancer or high blood pressure or any of that bullshit. It's crazy.
Have you got your cholesterol checked?
All the time. I
And
check it all the time.
It's not high?
No,
And you eat red meat every day?
every day. Also, I eat like 6-7 eggs. Also, I don't cook them sometimes because I can't eat that many eggs. So I just crack them and drink them.
Do you train every day?
Uh-huh.
5 days a week?
Yeah. I guess there is some sort of correlation. Also, there's a huge documentary or a podcast on cholesterol because you need cholesterol. It's very healthy.
Yeah.
And also eating egg yellow doesn't get you a high cholesterol. It's all really for the person that doesn't move or doesn't do sports. Obviously, he shouldn't eat 6 eggs. Like if you're a fat person, you shouldn't eat like 6 eggs or 7 eggs or only red meat. I mean,
So if you go to like Chipotle, what do you order?
I don't go to Chipotle. I would never go to Chipotle.
So when you eat red meat, you're eating at home?
Yes. Or at a steakhouse.
Yeah. Oh, so when you do eat out,
If I eat out, I would only eat steak and like I would prefer it to come with a salad, even though I don't care about the salad, but it's nice to have a salad because you can't just eat because it doesn't fill you up. It's crazy. You'll be so lean and you will be so sharp in your head. These carbs also make you lazy and slow in your head.
So you'll actually have vegetables at a steakhouse when you have the salad? You make an exception then?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have like potatoes or
If I had vegetables, for
as
example.
enjoyment. You can have vegetables because you enjoy it, but not because you want to get nutrients or anything. A salad has no nutrients. There's nothing. It's all fake. Even asparagus or broccoli too. Like they say like these antioxidants and all that stuff. But like if you look at red meat, it has every amino acid you can think of, every vitamin, every mineral. There's only like 2 vitamins that meat doesn't have, and that's I think vitamin D and one other thing. And when you're vegan, you lack in everything. Everything that your body needs, you lack. And there's no pea protein or rice protein that's going to make up for meat. Impossible. And all those bodybuilders, they've been eating differently until that point. And of course, there's exceptions.
Have you ever met a guy that's 100 years old eating like this?
I have never met a person that's 100 years old.
That eats the way you say?
No, I've never met a person that is 100 years old in general.
Have you met a 90-year-old who eats like this?
My grandfather, I think he's 95,
What does he eat?
lives in the house that he built with his hands in
Yeah.
Austria.
Yeah.
Nobody helps them. He still shovels the snow in the winter. He has hands like bigger, much bigger. He's a
What's he
top
eat?
G.
What's he eat? He sounds like one.
He eats everything. He eats meat, eats chocolate.
Does he drink?
No.
Yeah, but you know, when you say he eats everything, living in a mountain,
Yeah.
eating
Everything
food from
clean.
the farm. Yeah.
But
no,
also I feel like a clean
no
like you
processed
said-
food, right?
no, but in
Yeah.
LA there's so much toxicity
Yeah.
that now you have to do all this extra shit. He living in a little village doesn't have to do that because everything is healthy as is, and he always had a healthy mind and a very positive mind.
Maybe your grandfather went 30 years, didn't eat McDonald's.
Oh, I don't even think he's ever stepped a foot in McDonald's.
Yeah, man.
I don't think they have McDonald's in that village.
Baby J hit me up.
All
Okay.
right. All right. We,
All
could
right.
we went late.
Man,
Sorry.
all right. No, you're good.
5:08. Yeah, we went late.
Yeah, you guys are 2 hours and 23 minutes in.
All right,
Man.
But it was good.
You got to come back.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah.
you will you be back?
Want to do outro real quick?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, are you going to come back?
Man, I hope to be back within 6 months. It'd be good to do another one of these.
Man, because this is all we got.
Yeah.
Information is all we got.
It was fun, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for
It was,
coming.
it was very good. It was very good, man. It's pretty cool talking to you.
I hope
man.
you
pretty cool
took
meeting you.
something with you.
Yeah. I hope you did too.
Of course.
I know I did. Thank you, man.